This bad boy can fit so much CC in it. Hey everyone, this is Big Deal Gaming and welcome to another Gunfire Reborn guide. Do your friends suck at aiming? Do you hate when your enemies are allowed to move? Well, this guide will make your enemy stay perfectly still and your sniper friends happy. In this video, we'll be showing you how to get a strong stunlock build with Cat so you can blitz through any difficulty in Gunfire Reborn. Cat is a very versatile character and can be built in multiple ways, but in this video we will be focusing on his primary ability, Energy Orb. After having tried every character and multiple builds per character, I will say that Cat Energy Orb build tends to offer the smoothest and easiest runs. This build's capability to keep your enemies CC'd for the entire fight just makes killing bosses and elites trivial. Usually with this build, I'm looking for choices that reduce the cooldown of Energy Orb, increase my elemental or energy orb damage, and maybe one or two options increase my survivability until I can start permanently CCing enemies. While playing this build, you'll be focusing on spamming energy orb and keeping your enemy CC'd as long as possible while every now and then using a poison grenade to apply corrosion. Because of this, as far as weapons go, we want to be using a Cloud Weaver and usually a Lightning or Fire Cloud Weaver if possible. It allows Crown Prince to spam his energy orb as much as possible while still using a gun and applying hopefully two different elements. The first spiritual blessing I'm going to talk about, and the only one in S tier, is Splinter Orb. It is the bread and butter of this build and the one we'll be hunting for at the start of the game. This spiritual blessing will baseline allow energy orb to do triple damage to an enemy hit by all three orbs while also reducing its cooldown by 1 second per hit. It also offers the benefit of being able to cover a wider area since the two other orbs fired go off to the left and the right. All these amazing benefits get scaled up further the moment you get the Ascension Energy Bolt, which I will cover later in the video. Overall, everything Splinter Orb offers is just too amazing to pass up and gets increasingly better with every purple Ascension that gets picked up. The first spiritual blessing in A tier and second spiritual blessing you want to look for is Field Proficiency. Now, you might be wondering why this one would come before Overconsumption, which provides both damage and cooldown reduction. That is because cooldown reduction with this build is king, and Overconsumption loses cooldown reduction over time, while Field Proficiency gains it. With this build, the goal is to spam infinite energy orbs. The moment you can't use another energy orb and the enemies are no longer CC'd, you should probably be running and hiding while throwing out some grenades. The scaling cooldown reduction this offers is too good to pass up and will help both your damage and ability to PERMA CC enemies by synergizing with some Ascensions I will be talking about later. The next spiritual blessing in the A tier is Overconsumption. This spiritual blessing recently received a buff making it give us 300% damage boost and 50% cooldown reduction. It does have a drawback of having to be picky with your scrolls to try to keep the most of your damage and cooldown reduction boosts. To keep as much of the cooldown reduction as possible, you'll have to be more selective with scrolls the higher the rarity. And this is why Overconsumption is our third pick after Field Proficiency. But, to be fair, if you just want the damage it offers, then you can take every scroll you see and you'll still end up with a decent damage boost. The first spiritual blessing in the B tier is Ultimate Gambler, as it is always a decent choice for any build, but at the same time, it will never make or break your build. The earlier you get it, the more useful it is, and it is a great choice for this build if you want a smoother run in terms of Ascensions. However, keep in mind that it is still RNG based. The next spiritual blessing in the B tier is Jackpot. It is always a decent pick on any character as it allows you to have more gold to help yourself and other teammates. It also becomes a decent damage boost if you manage to get the Extravagant Consumption Scroll, which will increase your damage based on gold spent. Jackpot also works with the Rich Privilege Scroll, which scales off total gold currently owned, but it is worse than Extravagant Consumption. The last spiritual blessing in the B tier is Elemental Orb. This spiritual blessing is definitely a fun choice and lends itself to a more elemental style of playing, which is something we hope to get with this build through the Energy Echo Ascension. This blessing allows you to spawn elemental orbs when damaging enemies. This can help with elemental fusions and dealing a bit more damage. It also increases your elemental damage as you apply elemental effects or kill enemies under elemental effects. This spiritual blessing can be a better choice for this build than Jackpot if you happen to get Energy Echo and do not yet have Extravagant Consumption. It is overall a decent choice and can be really fun when you get a Cloud Weaver that also spawns elemental orbs on crit. The first two spiritual blessings in C tier are Steady Profit and Occult Booster. They will give you more chances at obtaining enhanced scrolls. This makes them both an okay choice, but nothing that special. The last two in C tier are Painkiller and Copycat. They will offer you a slight boost to survivability, but overall are not really worth taking. All the remaining options are in the D tier, and they are spiritual blessings you want to try to avoid picking as much as possible. Now, let's move on to the golden goblets, also known as Ascensions, you should be choosing. First and foremost, with this character, you can never go wrong with any of the purple choices. They all help your energy orb out in a different way, and they are all worth taking. The best Ascension, and the first one in S tier, is Energy Bolt. This Ascension offers a nice damage boost and a chance for Energy Orb to explode multiple times. These multiple explosions have a chance of happening on each orb from Splinter Orb, and each enemy hit will reduce Energy Orb's cooldown, making this the best Ascension with the Splinter Orb Spiritual Blessing. With each level of this talent, the chance that you get only one explosion keeps dropping, allowing you to CC for longer, do more damage, and reduce the cooldown on Energy Orb, leading to an easy PERMA CC build. The second Ascension in S tier is Chain Duration. It is very straightforward, but very strong, increasing the duration of the CC from your Energy Orb. It also offers a cooldown reduction if you manage to max it out, which can be insanely useful if you haven't gotten lucky on scrolls. Blinding Sphere is the last Ascension in S tier. It is the Ascension that allows this build to CC the entire map easily. It enables Energy Bolt to hit through walls and have a bigger AoE, allowing you to hit many enemies you wouldn't normally hit. There is another benefit at tier 3, giving a 50% damage boost per enemy hit by the explosion, which scales extremely well with Energy Bolt. The only A tier Ascension is Energy Echo. It will grant your Energy Orb the element of your weapon currently being held. This allows you to have an easier time applying more elements while also making many scrolls become a damage boost for your Energy Orb. This also allows some other Ascension options to be viable for Energy Orb build, such as Elemental Rage. The first Ascension in B tier is Power Source. It is a really good choice early in the run if you are not getting any of the S tier choices or cooldown reduction scrolls, but will start to fall off in usefulness. The next four Ascensions in the B tier are Elemental Rage, Pyro Dominance, Electro Dominance, and Acido Dominance. They are all great depending on what elemental fusions you want to focus on, and they are all interchangeable in the build. For example, if one run you want to focus on applying Miasma, you can use Elemental Rage, Electro Dominance, or both. The fact that Elemental Rage is generic makes it the best option since you can be more flexible with the elements, but it does not offer the tier 3 elemental specific benefits that the other three do. The first two Ascensions in C tier are Elemental Shield and Advanced Shield. Now, even though these are in C tier, you really do want 1 point in each of them during a run to get the new Spirit Link Infinite Shield. Infinite Shield gives you a 75% shield increase while also allowing Elemental Shield and Advanced Shield to trigger off each other's abilities. This gives you bonus shield, shield recharge rate, and shield recharge delay, all from spamming your Energy Orb. All of these benefits get even better if you have the Paranormality and Gold Medal scrolls. These two Ascensions and scrolls should be the only defensive options you will need during a run. The last Ascension in C tier is Energy Blade. For this build, it is not an amazing choice since we are not focusing on weapon damage. Only take this option if none of the previously mentioned options are available and if you're using a Cloud Weaver so that you don't have to stop to shoot. All the remaining options are in the D tier, and they are Ascensions you want to try to avoid picking up as much as possible. Here is an example of an ideal full build with a few scrolls to keep an eye out for while doing the run. You will want to use a Fire or Lightning Cloud Weaver for a weapon, as it is the ultimate solution to a skill spamming playstyle while offering one of the two elements the character cannot produce with its own kit. One side note to mention is that you can take the Ultimate Gambler Blessing to help with Ascensions until the final area where you swap it out for overconsumption. And with that, you are now equipped with the strategy to build an Energy Orb PERMA CC focused cat, making yourself irreplaceable in your friend group and carrying your high reincarnation runs. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you think we're making any mistakes in the build, if you had a successful run with our build, or if you have a guide request, please leave a comment down below. Also, if you enjoyed the video, do consider subscribing as we will be releasing more guides in the future. We also have a Twitch channel, so feel free to stop by and check out the stream. Till next time, this has been a Big Deal Guide, good luck and take care.